Now come to the designing. I've updated the screen size. Here you can see our screen size is changed now. On designing tab we have two options, basically two windows. One is property window, another one is toolbox. Toolbox contains a bunch of pre-built design components. Like if you use WordPress, Wix or any no-code platform tool, you will be doing drag and drop like components. They are pre-built and available in selection tab and anywhere. You just go in the intro tab, select the specific block for the intro and you just pick that block and drop it on the page. Same likewise, these are the components which are pre-built. Drag those components and drop it on our Windows form. Now main login page is selected. So these are the all properties of my main page, main WinForm. There is no component on my tab, on my screen. That's the empty screen. And now I'll perform some changes here. Let's start with background color. I'm changing this color with the app workspace color. Okay, it's a default color option and I'm just selecting it. As you see, I've updated the back color. Then the same change reflect on my current screen. By pressing Ctrl S, I save the changes. Click on its code component. Here you can see the width. Here you will be see this is the color. System colors, app workspace. And come here, look at the name. Actually it's a gray kind of shade, but the name of this color is app workspace. Actually it's a gray kind of shade, but the name of this color is app workspace. And in the code, our system colors changed with app workspace. Same. Let's suppose right now I'm not using any kind of image, but in further videos we will be going to add some background images, some logos and all. Cursor is default, font is, I'm not doing any kind of change here. Okay, form border. Now, did you identify the change? What happened here? Fix 3D changed the layout option or border option. The border style is changed now. If we change it again with sizable, now as you see, the strokes and contrast are removed from the design windows. We will be doing it like changing the sizable with, replacing sizable with fixed 3D option because I like it. Right to left. Now this text means if I want to change the text on top bottom, okay, I'm changing the form name. It's not a login page, it's a project 4. You can see here the name is changed now, or you can set it with CRUD operations. Now our name is changed now. before the name was login page, now the name is CRUD operations. Okay, do we have to do any more changes here? For now that's fine. If I want to change icon, that's the icon. If I have any kind of logo, like currently I don't have any, but in future videos we will be changing the icon and updated the icon as well. Okay, if I want to change the icon, I'll just click these three dot button. File Explorer will be open on the top of the code file, on the top of the Visual Studio. Then you have to select your icon image, JPG, PNG, with any format. Select OK, tap OK. Your icon will be updated here. Okay, that's the base introduction about what properties do, what is Toolbox, what Toolbox contain, and how these changes will reflect on the screen. Okay, we have to design our screen for CRUD operation. So for CRUD operation, we will be using Toolbox, to visualize the data, and text box, we are just designing the raw template right now, just to explain the concept. And we will be using buttons for CRUD operation selection. Number 1, number 2, and Control C, Control V, number 3 and number 4. Okay, now rename these buttons with, okay, I'll explain this concept. We just have to update the properties and the buttons. First we will be going to update the group box one. We are just going to change the text here. Okay, group box 1 will be changed with okay, we have two names. Keep that in mind. We have two names. One is the appearance text, which if we change, like I changed the group box 1 to table, that change reflected on my appearance screen. But on the back end, this box or the locator for this box will be group box 1. I'll show you what does that mean. If you go on design, you will be seeing the name column. In name column we have group box 1. That means that this box will be identifying with group box 1 property. We will be changing the backend property name as well with table. Okay, and the text box with entry box. Now, while we are writing the properties or changing their name, we have to make sure that there will be no space in between the entries. When I'm like using the space between entry and box, the error pop up and my changes will not be reflected on the code layout. Okay, but now my changes are reflected on the code layout. We will see this in the code here. If you come to the code, look at here, we use group box, and now the group box identifying property name is table. We use text box, and I named that text box with entry box. Still, my buttons are button 1, button 2, button 3 and button 4. Their design properties isn't changed yet. Look at here, in design we have button 1, button 2, button 3 and button 4. All these properties are locating with their button number. If we move a bit below, then we will be seeing the here you will be seeing the properties, and basically the properties will be reflecting into code form here. What changes and what selections we do here, all these selections will be reflecting into code in form of code. Okay, it's a GUI form updation. In WordPress, you drop any component on the web form or website, that specific component will be adjusted with your web page. Okay, for the front end. For backend, WordPress automatically updated your website backend code. Same here, we will be changing the properties from the GUI option. It's a graphical representation, graphical interface from this option, and those changes will be reflected on my code file by default. Like these lines are for table, group box, column. These 4 lines are for entry box, column. These 5 lines are for buttons, same as for other buttons, and this is for the whole page. This is for the whole page. As you see, I updated the text name with CRUD operations, but my property name is still login page. If you move there, click on the page, I updated the appearance text. Okay, now we will be going to update the values for these buttons. Add, update, read, and delete. Okay, now these are my 4 buttons now. Still, their backend identification property value is still button 2, button 3 and button 4. Update those as well. Delete. Read. Update. Always keep that in mind. The best practice is to use the meaningful variable, is to create the meaningful variables or use meaningful naming convention. Now our basic CRUD form is ready, is prepared now. Let's come to the code part. As you see here, I didn't do any kind of code right now, okay, till now basically. But by default we have around 150 lines of code present in my coding file. Now what is this? You can consider this as a CSS code or as a designing code. Okay, designing and base setup hierarchy and all. It's basically a by default pre-default code which we got when we design the form and save the changes here. Okay, we are using pragma month, using multiple namespaces, referencing the page with the library option, like we are fetching some specific function from the library and referencing that inherited those. Basically we are inheriting the specific function from our library with our current page. Okay, we have private protected variables, we have regions, till here you don't have to do any kind of changes to perform the functionality in your code. Okay, there is no need to do any kind of change. Now what you have to do is, like, that's my whole screen and I want to write a code for add button. If you go here, you will see there is no add button function written here. Okay, but what we can do is just double click on the component, a specific function for that component, their bodies will be set. That's the component body which we got by default. And for the add functionality, we just write that piece of code into this function. Automatically all the changes will be reflected on add button. If we click on update button, now you will see I have another function boundaries defined here. Okay, if we go on read button, another definition is defined. Same for delete. You will see these are their starting and ending bodies. Look at here, look at here, look at here, and look at here. That's the pre-default code. Now we will be going to write our logic, our code to perform the, basically you can say, to perform the CRUD operations. Okay, and I'll explain that code to you in a moment. Now if you want, you can do some changes. Just change this group box or replace this group box with list box. You can choose both options. Like in my case, I'm preferring list box. First I use group box, but now I'm changing the group box with list box. I'm just changing the name of the list box. First its property value to table. Okay, now I'm going to change the back color. App workspace, like I want to match the background color. You can choose your prioritize color if you want to, or if you want you can select the same color. These are the changes we are going to do before writing any piece of code. First I'll write the code, then at the end I'll explain the whole piece of code. Okay. If the string is null table means I am reflecting to the list box. Items, add input, entry box, clear, entry box, now once we've done with the add button, we will going to write the code for the update function. String input. Now you will see we are getting the same code suggestions which we've got earlier. Okay, but we don't have to write that code, so that's why we will be writing the fresh piece of code.